evening, freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And I'm diving into that sea of love as we look at the 2023 love forecast for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, loaded seventh house, okay, a stellium, three or more planets in that seventh house, or a significant planetary placement like one of the ones I mentioned before. Um, you may find resonance with these messages. I'm sure you'll find something here for you because you're here. All right. So, welcome and thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. Drop in with me. This is going to be a collective read where we look at three different areas in terms of the love life. So, we have a little something for everyone, no matter your situation. We're going to look at what's coming up for singles and ready to mingle in 2023 in the love department, as well as what's coming up for cuffed. Those of you who are in a committed relationship, a marriage, we know you want to continue to grow and expand in your love, in your relationship. You hope to continue to level up, right, and grow together. So there's something here for you too. And then we also have a category for it's complicated, where maybe there's some real kind of tricky, challenging issues in this situation. Maybe you don't know how to define what you are. Are you a thing? Are you not a thing? What's going on? Okay. Or do you even want anything to do with this whole love thing at all anymore? Right. So this piece really coming in very strongly. When you tune into this read, please drop into your intuition. Your intuition leads the way. All right. You'll know how the energy is communicating to you. I just get out of the way, let the message come through. It comes through as it wants to come through. All right. You assign the roles as you see fit. You flip flop things as you need to. You'll know how the energy is speaking to your situation if you lean in and feel your way into it. Right. So I want to dive right into it because we have a pretty significant download coming in for you, Libras. This is just some overarching general channeled messages for you all to carry you into 2023. I also encourage you when you're, tuning into this reading, if you have the time, listen to all the categories, even if you are single. There's no reason you can't listen to the cuffed reading or it's complicated reading, even if you feel like things are pretty, simple, easygoing, flowing in your life. All right. The challenges of that being the case for Libra collective at this time, with everything that's been going on for us over the past, well, a big chunk of time, really, I think is a stretch. Okay. But you never know. Maybe some of you have just been breezing through these cycles, right? Or at least making it look that way, okay? There's, you might find something there for you, okay? So I'll leave it to you if you want to dive into that, jump into the deep end of just exploring all the possibilities. And I really feel like that's what's coming in for you, Libra Collective, in 2023. Infinite possibilities. Anything can happen. I feel like there's been a big letting go, a big restructuring just in how you see love, maybe even what you're looking for in terms of relationship. I think you've been doing a lot of focus on your relationship with yourself. This has had a lot to do with diving into your past, into your deep past, doing that deep dive like Persephone does into the underworld to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight and, spend a little time with Hades and all the deliciousness of kind of revisiting those memories of intoxicating connections, connections that were really deep for you on a soul level. 444 on the clock when I said that. There's a lot of medicine to extract from those situations, even if they were painful experiences. You learned a lot through those connections. A lot of that medicine, the gift that came through those experiences, has been coming forward for you as you did the deep dive into Pluto with that Scorpio South Node action we got going on. It's been with us all throughout 2002. It will continue to 2002. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say 2022. So, you know, I do feel like, you know, a lot of Libras have been going a long, hard mile. All right. It's nothing new for us. And we actually did kick off the Pluto dance way back when. You know, maybe some of you feel it's been a good, you know, 20 years stretch of integrating a lot of intense stuff. You know, I do feel there's been this huge closing of a karmic cycle, and we're coming to the tail end of that. There's still that last little bit of integration in terms of matters of the heart. And a lot of this has to do with the healing that's needed to really open the heart. There's some blockage here. There's some self protection very strongly in place for a lot of Libras. There's a need to soften, a need to dissolve. And you do this by really getting in touch with the empowerment, okay, that came through the difficult experiences you've had in letting your heart be open and soft and ready to receive and to give. And that's a beautiful place to be. And some of you may feel like you went to those places and you really got dealt a raw hand, man. But it's all about transforming that energy and understanding it's been sort of like an initiatory gateway, much like Persephone, you know, having to shed a layer, shed a layer, shed a layer, to come to that place of just being at peace with who she is and integrating the wisdom of all the experiences she's had, and this coming to a point of real empowerment where you move into that Empress energy. You know, one of the cards that represents your sign, Libra, as well as justice, which is about karmic balance, that Ma'at energy. You know, is your heart lighter than the feather? You know, this coming forward very strongly. Feathers may be very significant for some of you to expect to see a lot of synchronicity coming in this new lunar cycle that will be coming in on the 21st, right? The 21st, we have a new moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius is going to be a wonderful time for Libra collective. 7:44 on the clock. It's when we come into alignment with the building blocks for our year ahead. And we really align ourselves with spirit. We align ourselves with our heart, our soul's calling. And this every bit has to do with us connecting with those soulmates too. All right. The people that are meant to share the next leg of this journey with us. Some of us will be doing deep healing with the past, with old connections. 8:11 on the clock. Okay. There's some kind of manifestation, healing, alignment that needs to happen there. It's going to look different for everybody. This is also about being open and having a new view, moving into that expansive energy of Aquarius where you're willing to have a new perspective in love. You're willing to see things in a new, different way, and just to be open to the experience, to understand that in some ways your finite views of what love's full expression should be. 8:44 on the clock. Okay, these are all building blocks for the future to lay a proper foundation that really supports the kind of love you're going to be stepping into in 2023. And it all begins with you, right? It all begins foundationally within you. Before you can rise up into that Empress energy, you break through that ground from being in the underworld and all the processing you've done with all the ghosts of the past, and you break through into that Empress energy, just spreading that abundance from that medicine gained in that deep dive and seeing it flower coming into bloom in your life. Very much a matter of grasping the thorns willingly, understanding that it takes a bit of the pain to arrive at the cure. And yes, it is a contradiction, but this coming through really strongly. And it's so interesting. I said to arrive at the cure, and I heard the Cure love song in my head. So please, if you're not familiar with that song, tune into that channel, music download coming in. There might be some kind of message there. And I believe even with that song, the message first is beginning with you, and then it kind of spirals out from you and aligns you with somebody that can meet you in that place. Okay, this is like coming in very strongly. I also feel like there's a need to move into a place of really feeling the strength and empowerment of the healing work that you've done as you prepare to open your heart, as you prepare to dissolve some of this like guarding action that you got going on. And a lot of that involves just creating sort of like a sense of safety for yourself, this sense of confidence where you know, like, I got you, you know, we're good. We're good. Stepping into the empowerment of what you've been through instead of continually focusing on what was painful or what felt unfair, like having the willingness and the release to let that be like water under the bridge, let it flow on, build a bridge, get over it by stepping into, yeah, that was rough, man. Or I didn't feel like that was right. I don't like the way I was stepped to in that situation. To also an acknowledgement of the role you played in that, in your allowing, okay, and kind of setting the standard to getting over it to the other side and understanding the empowerment that comes through that, that acknowledgement and moving into that place of self mastery where you can alchemize that shit and take it to a higher level and level up, you know, do the work, level up and step into what you're stepping into now. 1144, okay, which is a big gift, a big gift. I feel like one way that you can really attune to this sense of having that safety held around the process of really making yourself vulnerable again, because you'll have to. Love is a risk, right? Making yourself vulnerable again is to work with a warding stone. And this can be a stone that you have like in it, some kind of amulet, some kind of piece of jewelry that you have on your person. A pendant would be really lovely because it could rest right over the heart. It can be, you know, kept in a medicine bag. You can keep it tucked in your bra, you know, but tiger iron came through very strongly as a warding stone for the heart, and charge it up as a warding stone for the heart. And if you can get your hands on a tiger iron, and kind of start to infuse your energy into that, building with this new moon energy coming on the 21st up until that full moon. And on full moon on the 5th, really like let it charge up. That's going to be Leo full moon. Okay. So on the 5th of February, that's going to infuse like a lot of strength and that, you know, it's sort of like the balance of the solar energy of Leo with that full moon lunar energy, and it will just go right into that stone and kind of charge it as a warding for your heart to help you understand the strength of your vulnerability and the strength of your ability to keep entering into love's doorway, even though very often the reality doesn't match the spiritual ideal. All right, it's your willingness to go there. It is your empowerment. All right, and this stone will help you remember you know what you're working with. It will put you in touch with your mojo and that creative aspect of the Empress energy. And this applies for you men too, you know. It will help you tap into the creative principle and be more emotionally bold and expressive, you know, really letting yourself be seen for who you are and where you're at. And that's a really beautiful thing. There's also the piece coming in with just the confidence that is built with tiger's eye. It's very much centered on healthy sense of self-esteem and also working from the creative center, that sacral chakra, which is a wonderful thing to work with those lower channels, you know, the foundational rooted channels, first chakra, second chakra, third chakra, you know, to really root yourself so you feel your strength in moving into those upper channels as you open your heart, as you speak your truth, you know, as you trust your visions, as you trust your intuition, as you open yourself to guidance. All right, a lot of synchronicity coming in this year. So You'll definitely want to be able to tap into that flow and work with it because you're very much going to be led where you're meant to be. And I think you'll be surprised the way things turn out. Um, and then also, you got tiger's eye. You also have hematite, which is very grounding and it's warding, it's deflecting, all right? Because they still feel like, Libra rules over hidden enemies. So you're still going to have people that want to sabotage a good thing. So you might be wise to kind of, let things be more intimate. Don't always feel the need to rush and let everybody know about what's going on, who you're vibing with, these kind of things. And you will be very served in taking that approach in 2023. Really keep things more private. Let it be your own personal experience. You'll know when the time is right to share, but you still got this hidden enemy. You got some frenemy energy around you too, Libra. So it's something you need to be aware of, very aware of, right? And especially this year, that's still kind of a carryover energy. And there is a balancing of the scales happening in those situations as well. Okay, so it's very nice, this hematite, because it's grounding, but it's also got that kind of mirror effect. So it's deflecting of that kind of energy and wards the space in um, a very beneficial way that kind of averts that malocchio, that evil eye kind of energy, and competitive vibes. We don't need none of that. We don't need none of that. And then there's also the obsidian. All right, and obsidian is just excellent for just clearing out any negative energy, and making it feel safe to move into that empowerment, which is when you're really in your heart. That's Libra's rule over love and beauty. That's our planet, Venus, our ruling planet, is all about that energy of love and beauty. Also war, okay? We can be fierce, and I like that energy for the obsidian that's in that tiger iron as well, because a lot of times we see it used as arrow tips, right? So that's still there, remembering your strength, remembering what you've been through, remembering the times that you did get wounded, and the medicine that got through there. And there was one final piece that came in as an initial download. I told you I got a lot of channel messages in for you. And that's that you need to like get your mojo working with some glamour magic this year, all right? And diving more into pampering treatments and luxuriating in this, just luscious scents like vanilla and rose, but with like earthy sensuality mixed in, like ambers, sandalwood, oud, things like this. Even going to that level of bringing in the pheromones and the musks, things like this. It's just this energy is really wanting to come in, this like real, like kind of intoxicating sensuality and working with beauty in a way to sort of like set your intention of what you're wanting to broadcast, what you're wanting to convey, and also the type of quality that you're wanting to embody in love. All right. So just really getting clear on what that is for you through that process. And I'm going to be bringing something in here that might interest you, those of you who want to go on this kind of like glamour magic exploration. We're going to be doing a Broad Coven initiation. It started out one way and it's really transformed, but we're going to begin that in February. And every month there's going to be some kind of like working, some kind of ritual that can be done working with glamour magic. All right. So it's kind of an initiation into glamour magic and sensuality and just really embracing that empowered place within you. And it's open to everybody. Men, you're welcome in that space. Everybody, no matter how you roll, everybody has this aspect inside of themselves. And so we're going to learn how to work with that mojo, how to really stir the pot and and get things bubbling in a really good way in 2023. So welcome to join for that. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get on the shuffling. I will have timestamps available for all of you when this airs. Okay. Sometimes channel messages come in while I'm shuffling, though. So, you might not want to miss that. Oh, I love it. I've been shuffling throughout, and we got the basis of the matter. We have the title card for the Paulina Tarot here, and I've assigned a specific meaning for this card. It has to do with, very much so the written word. It's so interesting. I just had thistle stick to my sleeve. This happened to me in another reading. Where did that happen? Was it in Virgo's reading? You might have a significant Virgo placement in your chart, like Virgo Venus. This might speak strongly to you, this coming in, or maybe you have maybe you're a cusper, maybe you're a September Libra, so born closer to that Virgo side. Also, all Libras are Vedic Virgos, so this piece coming in too. But yeah, I'm really picking up that this is like writing a new story. It's like you get to write your story, your love story, and what that's going to look like for you this year. And it's really informed by what you've experienced in the past. Okay. We do see there's some real genuine offer that's going to come forward this year, Libras, and that applies across the board. Even if you're in a committed relationship, you can up level in your relationship. There can be an opportunity to take things deeper. And we see this with the Knight of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay. I also feel like this is moving into that North Node Taurus energy. All right. Which we'll have completed that journey by the time we hit July of this year, at which time those nodes of destiny shift. And we got your opposite, Aries, taking over the North Node position of the destiny, and Libra will be the South Node, and the work where we balance out that karma. We start that journey to rise into the new cycle, taking that initiation. And it's interesting because that magic piece came in, the Broad Coven initiation. So it's kind of funny, but this is like starting that journey of planting that seed, what we're doing right now, ways that we want to see love manifest and grow in our lives. Big spring timing card to look for a real initiation of the energy might involve an earth sign energy, somebody who has a strong earth sign placement. Okay. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, or a loaded house, or just exhibits the qualities of those signs. Don't get too hung up on it. Okay. But this could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. All right. I got strong moon energy around that, strong sun, moon energy around that. All right. This is a serious offer to write a new story, move forward in a new way, switch things up a bit. Okay. And this is something that takes time. It doesn't happen right out the gate. All right. It doesn't happen right out the gate. It's a process. There's work involved with this, with the Eight of Pentacles. All right. And so we're going to look at this. We're going to figure out what that work is. And we're going to get into shuffling right now. So we are looking at the 2023 love forecast for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, or loaded seventh house. And we're beginning with what's coming up for single and ready to mingle. What's coming up for single and ready to mingle in the love department in 2023? Whoa. You ain't going to be single for long. All right. Just saying. All right. What's coming up for cuffed, those in committed relationships, those in marriages? What's coming up for cuffed Libras in 2023? What's coming up for cuffed Libras in 2023? What's coming up for cuffed Libras in 2023? All right. What's coming up for It's Complicated, Libras? Those of you who don't know what's going on in your situation, you're in a situationship. It's not really defined, or maybe things are just confusing. Maybe there's too much interference. Maybe there's been third party interference. Something flipped up right when I said that. Oh, yeah, there's something going on. There's a lot going on there. All right, we'll look at it. We'll look at it, okay? We will look at it and we'll see what's going on. It's interesting because with It's Complicated pile, I feel like you're just about to make some kind of decision, all right? I feel like you've been in a place of trying to decide which way to go. I think you're moving more toward that north node direction. I think there was a time when maybe you were tempted to act out of your shadow, or you potentially did. I'm picking up some really interesting things from this particular pile that I will talk about, but I feel like you're kind of like coming out of that. You're making a decision. It moves you out of gridlock. It moves you out of the crossroads. And there might be something that involves a committed relationship. You might be in a committed relationship and it's complicated, or there's some kind of interference happening in relation to a committed relationship and it's complicated pile. So set that out like that. It's interesting because all the piles came out a little different, and it's so Libra, like just to have to kind of balance it out. Like the singles pile came out as a crossing influencer, right? So singles, you're at a pivotal juncture right now. You're like about to step out of the crossroads and into your new direction and find out what's on the other side of everything you've been dealing with for a while now, for a hot minute, all right? And then for those of you cuffed in committed relationships, there's something happening behind the scenes because your cards came out, in line, but face down. The only ones that came out face down. The other two came out upright. All right, face up. And then we already know what's going on with it. It's complicated pile. Okay, so some interesting things. You're like a little in between. So balancing it out. So typical Libra stuff, So we're going to move into actual read now, 2759. I'm trying to get really good with keeping track of these timestamps. I want to get up the banner for the single and ready to mingle. Okay. I'm going to show you all the cards and then I'll tell you the story. All right. How's that sound? So first of all, first thing we see is we got the 10 of Pentacles. Let's just have a nice look at that card there. Okay. To the 4 of Wands. But wait, there's more. To the Ace of Wands. And it's so ironic what's at the bottom of it, what's at the basis of it. The 5 of Swords. All right, single and ready to mingle. This is your come up. This is your time of redemption. It's time to stop brooding over how you were done wrong. Clearly, you were done wrong, all right, with the 5 of Swords. This is a betrayal energy. So you experienced a betrayal in your last connection. You probably aren't feeling very much in an accommodating space or a very trusting space right now. There's been a lot of deep hurt that you've been processing. There's grief connected with this. This hit hard, this hurt. It was a lot to process. Very painful experience for you. All right. Very painful experience. This could have been somebody that you were in a really serious commitment with. This could have been somebody that maybe you saw as your person, maybe thought this is the one. This is the one I'm going to grow old with. I'm going to build a life with this person. Maybe there were even promises made in that regard. 30:33 on the clock when I said that, okay? I think that things came to light that kind of caused a tower moment. You know, the foundation was never there in the first place. It was sort of like a castles in the sky sort of scenario. It was that thing that Libras have a tendency to do. They have an idealized vision of love, and you saw all the potential and all the promise and everything this connection could be. And you also have this thing, Libra has this thing, it's kind of a blessing and a bane where you truly see the best in people, and that's what you fall in love with. That's what you nurture. But there's ways that this can become kind of like a gilded cage for you. I think that there was a great betrayal, something really broke your heart. It really broke your heart, and you've been licking your wounds. You've been um, really feeling the pain. You've been processing it. I don't think that you've been resisting it. I think that you chose to really go into the center of it. I got Nietzsche coming up, so maybe some of you are really drawn to Nietzsche. Maybe you've been reading a lot of his works and you've been finding like solace in it. Um, if you don't know about Nietzsche, explore Nietzsche. Some very potent psychology, um, like uh, GPS. I feel Nietzsche brings through, especially for navigating shadow spaces. And I feel like you've been on this journey. I do feel like, with those thistles, like the way they came in, it's like, about the thorns, about the pain. It's like you're wanting to feel the other side of that. You're wanting to experience the pleasure. You're wanting to experience the reward. And this is a case where it's like you thought you lost something, but it's only just begun. It's only just begun for you. Like this is where it begins. This is where your story begins. It all begins here. Ted just shook his head. Yes, confirmation. We see 2023 brings you somebody that you can build with the 10 of Pentacles. It also shows you arriving at this place in that pre-Empress energy, meaning that you've already built a solid financial foundation for yourself. And I think a lot of you are really focused on this right now. You are building for yourself, and you're finding a lot of personal gratification through that. I feel like you're really investing in a vision. You're investing in a dream. You're following your hearts very much so in what you're building for yourself, the kind of life you're creating for yourself right now. A lot of you, this does have to do with finances and really just feeling that sense of growing something of your own, in and of yourself. It's giving you a confidence boost. And I think you're going to be connecting with somebody that is absolutely in that same place. You know, they're equally invested in building for themselves. They're a person who have made a name for themselves. And this is like two kind of powerhouses coming together, really. I feel like what you build together, it has almost like legacy energy to it. This might even be somebody that you can team up with creatively. I'm getting this. Maybe you can create something together. You build an empire, came through for some of you that are really business minded. It's got that vibe, like two movers and shakers, like really coming together and building something solid, something you can stand on, man. And it's total alignment, all right? I mean, it sounds like such a fairy tale story. It does, but sometimes it really works like that. The wheel of karma is always turning, and we're all on that ride. And what goes up must come down. And likewise, the opposite is true. And you've been rolled over, man, and you're coming on the other side of that. You're coming on the other side of that. You see that Libra South Node energy that's coming in July. It's really just the other side of you finding that balance. Now you're going to start that rise up into that Aries energy, moving into that place of initiating a new cycle. It's very clearly pointed out here in your cards. Four of Wands, also known as the 1111 card. This is celebration. It's a point of arrival. It's entering that initiatory gateway of love and finding somebody there who totally aligns with you. They've done this work too. The person you're connecting with, they can meet you in this space. And this is a big, bold, new beginning with the Ace of Wands. And it's all born out of that time you spent in the shadow with the owl here. You are seeing through the dark to finding your way here to this point of initiation. Look for lots of synchronicity in this year that is going to point you to where you're supposed to go next. And you'll find out when you get there why you were guided there, because that's going to align you with the person who can meet you in that place of total realness. All right. This is very much a destiny connection. It's a bit of you transmuted fate and you spun it into destiny. 36 on the clock. You ended an old cycle. And now you get to see what's on the other side of that growth with this new beginning. Okay. Likely to come in the fall. All right. With the Ace of Wands. So that's September, October, November. All right. You also may be connecting with somebody that has a strong placement in either Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Could also be that a Cephas, born kind of like that 13 sign. I've really been called to bring the 13th sign into the channel here. So I think this is something that maybe I will kick off even with this read and just bring it in. But yes, they might have a strong placement in one of those charts, or they could be, like I said, a Cephas. They could be kind of a cusp energy, born right on that cusp between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Okay. So this energy coming in very strongly for you. There's a new beginning here. There's a lot of chemistry with the Ace of Wands. I think this is going to be a good year sexually. All right. I think there is definitely a lot of that energy around. I think you're going to be enjoying flirtation. I think you're going to be having some gratifying, intimate encounters, and it looks really good. It's just like all you need to do is you need to remove your blocks to receiving. You got to let your guard down, man. That's what it's all about for you. Okay. So let's get an overarching theme for Libra singles for 2023. Overarching theme for Libra singles 2023. Overarching theme for Libra singles 2023. I do feel most of you are really going to continue to focus on, building for yourself, doing your own thing, really being inspired creatively and putting a lot of energy into creativity. Up until that time of the fall. The fall is really that initiation point for you. I think you'll experience like a light kind of flirtatious cycle that opens up in the spring, but I don't think you really got anything getting real cooking until fall is when it really pops off. Until then, I see you kind of keeping things open. Libra singles, you want to explore possibilities. You're just moving into this energy out of a lot of heaviness, and you want to keep it light and breezy, easy for a while and pick it up. Overarching theme for Libra singles. Come on, y'all. Overarching theme. Do we not want this one? Okay, fine. We won't take that one. Overarching theme. Woo! All right, that came out right away. All right, this is what I was talking about in the initial download. This is what you need to be aware of, because this is what's coming in for you. And I'll tell you right now, nothing's going to get in the way of it coming in. It's earmarked for you. All right. But the thing you need to realize is there is interference that can come in, and this interference can hold things up. All right. And I'm sure as a Libra at this point, the last thing you want is more holdups. You don't want to get stuck at the crossroads. You also don't want to deal with ironing out any messes. So this is what you need to be aware of this year. All right. In order to keep things flowing easily and smoothly. We got the dogs in reverse. Notice the number 10, the start of a new cycle. Okay. Tens are also endings that need to happen for the new beginning to begin. And we got the witch in reverse. Like I said, frenemy energy around you that comes off like it's loyal to you, but is actually interfering and blocking your blessings. All right. So do be aware of this. You need to be aware of this in your environment in order to avoid the potential interference with all you've been working so hard for. You know, you've been really coming to this place of finding the balance between your head and your heart. You're just starting to breathe fresh life into the love department again, ready to open up to love, right? So be aware of those who, would interfere with that coming in for you, that envious energy. And you might need to cut some people off if you know they're moving that way, and don't feel guilty about doing that. Yeah, this is a big key to your success, all right? You got all the keys to open all the doors moving forward. You just need to be aware of the interference, all right? Because there are people around you who are greedy and they don't want you. They don't want you having what they may have their eyes on. Okay. All right. Or there are people that step to you and maybe their offers look really enticing, but they're not fair arrangements. It's all about them, what works for them. So be mindful of what you let in, and understand that not everybody is your friend and not everybody wants to see you happy. And it's a harsh truth, but it is the way it is. And there's been a lot of interfering energy around the Libra collective for a hot minute now. So I really feel like this piece coming front and center for you all. Okay. You do this, and there's smooth sailing up to where you need to be. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Stay focused. Don't let the distractions in. Don't let the people in that are like trying to, set you off your course. Just stay focused. Stay focused on what you're building for yourself and building up yourself, your confidence, and all that you're ready to step into, and it's going to pop off for you. 43 on the clock when I said that. 7 in alignment with this year's energy. All right. Cuffed. 4311. We got a lot of alignment coming in. All right. That's 711. 711, man. Good luck. All right. Cuff. You got some good luck on your side. Yeah, you do. Oh man, you all went through some tough shit, okay? We got the 10 of swords in reverse. We got the 9 of swords in reverse, all right? You all went to the brink. You did. You all went to the brink. This was nearly lost. This was nearly lost. There were a lot of past fears operating in your relationship. This has trauma bond all over it. This has trauma bond all over it. 44 on the clock. Don't worry, there's help here. Okay. You got a lot of spiritual support helping you work through these issues. You're soulmates, and sometimes soulmates come together to transform the shadow into the light. I think this has been a deep, deep, deep dive. One of the people in this connection may have even dealt with some really serious depression or anxiety. I feel like there's a lot of kind of like the past haunting. Notice the figure and the way they're always looking over their shoulder. There's this lion. I think of the lion. I think of the cowardly lion. I think of the cowardly lion in The Wizard of Oz. I think of, the courage. Maybe having fear of moving forward because of what was still hanging on from the past, old energy that you hadn't cleared. This even could be in relation to a Leo. Maybe there's something hanging over the connection, maybe somebody with a strong Leo placement, or maybe you were dealing with somebody with a strong Leo placement, and they were doing a lot of this kind of processing of the past, haunted by the past, maybe things you didn't want to look at from the past, or maybe things you were afraid would resurface from the past, or connections that might come around. And how do I deal with this? There's some kind of pain, anxiety around the past, a past influence in relation to love, matters of the heart, old pain and feeling that really had people acting out of a place of self protection, and also doing a fair amount of projecting, looking at the other through eyes of the past, which isn't fair. And I think that there was so much hurt that came forward in your connection, like really deeply intense wounding. You all went to the bottom of it, man. You went to some dark, dark places together, heavy places, and you activated it in each other. You triggered it in each other. And I'm not saying that things haven't been wrong. You definitely can see that here with the Ten of Swords, where there's Ten of Swords. There's a lot of pain that has been inflicted in this connection, mostly related to the past being unconscious. The past being unconscious. And that reminds me of Jung. I'm having all this like psychology stuff come through for you all. Okay. So it's like until we make the subconscious conscious, it will rule over our lives, and we'll call it fate. So this is what you did in your connection. You have been like really getting a different perspective on your connection, what your connection means and what it's about, where it's leading you through this work. Through this work, you've been maybe even in a therapy process. Some of you have been doing some really deeply, intensely healing work around the past, also deep foundational healing. And you may have even started to toy with the possibility of entering some kind of therapeutic process together. I feel like it's been more focused on the self, though, like you kind of taking your space and your connection to focus on this work. I feel like you're coming out the other end of this cycle, though, and you're finding like maybe it's not time to let this go, or there's some need to look at things again, like revisit things with each other, because, and I think this is really going to come to a head with that full moon coming in on the yeah, I could see that with the lion coming in there on the 5th of February with that full moon in Leo. I think it's going to come in and really like illuminate something for you, illuminate the gift that came through this process, even though it was painful and it was a deep dive for you all. I see you doing some healing work together in your relationship and your connection. And this is going to really carry you forward in 2023. I want to just get a little shuffle here and see a clarification on this for you all. Clarification for all of you on this. Okay, yeah, look at this. 6 of Wands, victory, overcoming the challenge together, getting to the other side of it, something really to celebrate. Some of you maybe were engaged to be married, and this actually put your engagement, like your wedding plans, on hold because of stuff that came up, because of the past that needed to be dealt with, because of these things that maybe were hidden, that resurfaced, from the past, that came forward in the connection and needed to be addressed, needed to be looked at. Looks like you're moving forward. I'm going to do a cut of the deck energy on that. Yeah, look at this. King of Cups, okay, may have been the masculine in this situation that really needed to come into this place of emotional readiness. Also, water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We also got King of Wands here, okay? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, all right? And so this is finding that balance, maybe one person was very independent in this connection. Maybe they were fearing commitment. looks like they kind of get over that. You know, they invest in the commitment. They learn how to find the place where the emotions and the passions meet. And so that is a beautiful thing. Let's get an overarching theme here. All right, overarching theme. Overarching theme for cuffed. Overarching theme for cuffed. Yeah, look at this. I love it. There were the kings, okay? And here comes the queen with a new perspective with that hawk medicine. And this is a beautiful thing. It's like getting on the same page with each other, that two energy. So it looks good. You find your way to the other side of what was a long challenge. Blah, 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 blah. I think communication, maybe there were communication issues. You guys get on the same page. You learn how to speak to each other from your hearts. Changes everything. All right. 51 on the clock when I said that. Okay. It's complicated. 5106. And it is complicated because, man, I wish I would have had you at the beginning. Maybe I should have had you at the beginning because you have quite a few cards here and I got to get this message to you, you know, very succinctly, very succinctly. We have the magician. Okay. And the magician was kind of heading south. All right. And was coming across a commitment pile, you know, the cuffed pile there. And then we have the high priestess, okay, also crossing influence. This is all crossing influence. We have the ace of pentacles, okay, and we have the 8 of cups. I have a couple stories for you right here, okay. I have a couple stories. So I'm going to bring them both in. First, I want to speak to the very obvious occult angle here with the magician and the high priestess being on the table, right? They are counterparts, right? So this is like a very deep spiritual connection is felt here. I feel like one of the people is in a committed relationship, and this is what makes it complicated. All right. There's also the possibility that some workings were done on this level. This could be from either side. Okay. So only you know. I feel like this was thwarting work to try to separate a couple because somebody is attracted to somebody who's in a commitment. This is either you have been attracted to somebody who's in a commitment or somebody is attracted to you and you've been in a commitment, but you do feel some kind of connection or spiritual affinity with this person. And that's what makes it complicated. I do feel in cases where you suspect that somebody's been working magically and you run in those kind of sets, so you know it's a possibility. This was something that was done to try to thwart your relationship. It could be somebody did some kind of some divisive magic between you and your person because they had their eyes on your person. Here's that kind of frenemy energy coming in here. They were hoping for a new beginning with this person. All right. You might have more revealed about this to you. Something might come through that makes this kind of clear to you if you work on that kind of level in the spring. I also feel like there's this, like, there is a secretiveness. There's like secretive affair energy involved here. What's coming through very strongly, and it can be an affair of the heart without there even being any kind of consummation in the physical. Okay. This could be like 5D affair, you know, where, there's just this energy connection. I feel like you all would benefit from doing some like extraction work, like release work, clearing out the cords. Okay. There is a need to kind of do what you need to do to move forward to that new beginning you want. If somebody is with somebody and they're not willing to leave that person, then you have to accept that. No matter if this is cross watcher energy coming in, could very well be. All right. This is about respecting boundaries in that case. And until there's some kind of understanding of what's happening here, I think there needs to be, the gap needs to be bridged with communication. I also feel like there's somebody here who's not communicating. They're not even communicating that they're wanting to move forward with this person. And so there's this whole missing piece in this scenario that's creating the complication. Some kind of healing communication needs to be had. It bridges the past with the future and it leads to new beginning. But I feel like there's somebody here that needs to leave a connection in order for this thing to move forward. All right. This is about being in alignment with, higher truth, that energy of love and compassion too. Okay. It's about understanding the responsibility of, making this choice, that it does affect more than just you, or the person that you're interested in. Okay. So there's definitely a need for some kind of bridging the gap, healing, communication, getting on the same page. And I also feel like doing some alchemy work, like really doing some transformational healing work as well. In this connection, I feel like this may be somebody that there's a past connection with coming in strongly here. And this can be on either side, all right? It can be somebody that is involved with your person, or it could be somebody you're drawn to, or somebody who's drawn to you, all right? Overarching theme again, the pig, okay? So somebody is being greedy in this situation. This is some fuck shit, you know? This is doing things on the slide. This is somebody who brought in some third party interference. Look, backed up further with the attack, okay? So this needs to come up and out. There needs to be honesty and clearing in this situation. And if you suspect there's interference going on, I would say, it's time to do what you need to do to guard from this, all right? It's okay to defend yourself, speak to it, stand up for yourself, because you do have some rats around you. And there is somebody who has their eyes on something that, you got going on. All right. They're wanting to interfere. There is a secret. All right. Something's going on the down low. Something's happening behind the scenes. And this will lead to a breakup. I can't make this shit up. Right behind that, fox in the hen house. There's somebody that you can't trust. There's somebody that's interfering. There's somebody that's causing disruption. And it's likely related to somebody from the past. With the zombies coming in here, this brings a tower moment, all right? It's a tower moment. So this needs to be cleaned up big time. And I feel like there's a lot of clearing work that needs to be done here. Even if somebody hasn't been working magically, if there is enough competitive energy, jealousy energy, envy energy, that can kind of put a pox on your situation. It has a charge. So I feel like there's some people you need to suss out. You need to get rid of the interlopers. You need to stop being so free in sharing what you got going on with your person, or you need to, see if the person you're involved with, is being really honest with you. But there's a need to move away from this if you hope to come to a place of really stepping into the kind of love that you want for yourself. And you do. And there's nothing but a brand new journey for you up ahead. Look at that yellow brick road. I love how the Wizard of Oz came in. And there's also abundance here for you. All right. So you're in a situation where as long as you stay mired in this, it's blocking all of your blessings. Cut the cord. Move away from this. It leads you into your blessing, into your abundance. It has you easing on down the road and heading toward that future, that you really do want to call in, that place of alignment with somebody who's not going to put you through all this drama and this bullshit. Okay? Somebody who does have the courage to show up and do the work and can meet you in that place, because they've already been doing the work on themselves and they're extricating themselves from some bullshit too. All right? Could be a past connection coming back around the bend. But cautionary tale. Do remember what happened in the past. All right? Do remember what happened in the past. And be very mindful of your choices. I do suggest stepping away for a while, getting some space, getting in touch with yourself, and all will become clear.